YouTube just admitted that over 12 million channels were terminated in 2025, and they're insisting that everything is fine. In fact, they say that most of the bans were spam, social networks, or deceptive practices. Here is the truth. It's not fine. And it's actually the biggest red flag we've seen from YouTube in years, and puts the future of YouTube in jeopardy as sort of this legacy media of new media. So let's break down exactly why YouTube is using an AI-first moderation, as is the trend of 2025, using AI in any capacity you can, and why creators have every reason to not like it. And frankly, creators should be alarmed. So let me explain how this shift towards using AI as moderation is in fact jeopardizing the entire ecosystem for viewers and content creators. So here's what actually happened. According to Dexerto, they reported that over 12 million channels were removed this year, which is going to be the largest spike that YouTube has ever seen in loss of channels. They've highlighted channels like animator Nani Josh, who lost 650,000 subs after the channel was being flagged as spam in the system. He's publicly pushed back, saying this, quote, "Aren't we really supposed to believe 12 million creators all violated policies?" To which, yeah, that does seem like a shockingly large amount. And if you know what dead internet theory is, it actually says that there are more bots online than there are people commenting and creating content. And I do think that we're heading that direction, but I'm not sure we're entirely there yet. But YouTube does sort of think that. And I think he's right to question it, because that is a shockingly large number. YouTube did reply to this claim, and they say that the number is inflated by spam networks and bot-driven channels, and that the explanation is just thin from YouTube. It doesn't completely seem legitimate, because creators of all sizes, of all the different industries, have been reporting wrongful bans at a scale that we just haven't seen before. Search Engine Journal documented multiple cases where creators were terminated automatically and their appeals rejected flat out. And then of course it states here that they were later overturned by a human, which is kind of the issue, right? AI will do something really bad and then a human has to go back and fix it. So I guess there's a sense of job security there, but that's not the point. It is telling us something a bit obvious. It tells us that AI is incorrectly enforcing these things at a very high rate. And this is pushing creators to a tipping point on YouTube. In fact, Moist Critical didn't hold back at all when he said this. According to Dexerto, Moist Critical called YouTube CEO Neil Mohan delusional for defending expanded AI moderation tools. His reasoning is straightforward, I think. He says, quote, "AI should never be able to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. AI should never have the ability to terminate a channel. I don't think AI should have ever been given the judge, the jury, and the executioner role in any capacity, whether it be online moderation content kind of situations or in other situations like in offices." But back to YouTube, we're just watching this automated system enforce rules and that are very nuanced, right? These rules, these expectations, this TOS, it's all nuanced. It's hard to understand for even us humans that are capable of complex thoughts. The enforcement of rules is always supposed to be context dependent, financially consequential. The idea is that when you are reprimanded for breaking terms of service on YouTube, or you are not following the rules or expectations that a platform has set out for you, there should be some accountability that you have to hold as a creator, right? And that should be true. I think humans can do this. I even think AI can help humans do this, but they shouldn't be assigned every role there. A creator has even reported AI moderation mistaking his laugh as graphic content. And I mean, my laugh is pretty bad, but I would never consider it graphic content. But I do think this illustrates that if a laugh can demonetize your account automatically, right? The system is broken. YouTube is not backing down from AI moderation moving forward. In fact, they're doubling down. Neil Mohan told Time this: "AI will make enforcement better, more precise, able to cope with scale. They're gonna make it bigger. They say it's going to be better." And it sounds nice, but the data just doesn't support it. If AI enforcement of these rules were in fact more precise, we wouldn't be seeing what we're seeing right now, which is massive amounts of false reporting, and all of it requires a human to intervene and correct it. Because if AI was truly coping with the scale, creators wouldn't be reporting instant appeal rejections that later turned out to be incredibly wrong. And I think YouTube wants credit for trying to combat scams, which I appreciate as a consumer. I hate when a platform gets riddled with scams. I'm looking at TikTok, I'm looking at YouTube, but they're not even addressing the collateral damage, the finances lost for many creators, the communities lost for many creators, just the burden, the mental drain that this is taking on many creators that pour their hearts into their content. Because right now, the YouTube system for AI moderation is just straight up nuking creators left and right. And I'm scared. I'm not even monetized on YouTube yet, but I stream here every day. So when YouTube's system is doing this, Again, lashing out at real content creators, not necessarily scam. It's not precision. That is friendly fire. Not even friendly. It just hurts. That sucks. It is bad for users. It is bad for content creators. There has to be a better solution. Hire more people to attack the actual issue of scammers on this platform, because God, there are so many scammers that are targeting the most vulnerable among the users here on the platform. And if we want the creator economy to thrive, this is essentially an existential threat for it. What is the future going to look like if you can get auto Thanos off the platform by some AI, and then, I don't know, fingers crossed that a human will eventually hear your plea out with limiting humans that are obviously losing their jobs in this moderation field as AI is taking over. It is a big issue. Again, the issues are pretty clear. People are losing their jobs overnight, entire channels wiped, and incomes, again, not monetized, but it's not about me. They could just vanish overnight without explanation. That's crazy. For lack of a better term, that's crazy. All of this while human oversight is just absolutely disappearing. And because of all the stuff we just talked about, the user, the viewer, the audience, they're getting hurt too. They are losing diversity of content. Wrongful bans can wipe out niche communities, niche creators in an instant. We're gonna be left with a feed full of advertisements from businesses and marketing campaigns and people just looking to get ad revenue. You know, the corporate beige sort of stock content you are probably used to seeing at this point. AI slop is a new phenomenon of 2025, and it's only going to get worse in 2026. So maybe we should use AI to clean out the AI slop instead of actual human creators putting themselves out there. And again, with all of that said, it is absolutely, I think, just eroding our trust in the system. When I go live now, I'm scared. I don't trust the YouTube automod system. I am doing my best to play it safe across the ether. And when I'm playing it safe, it does leave me less room as a creator to experiment. Straight up. And as someone who does see the value in AI being used in tandem with humans, not solo dolo in a silo over here, right? I don't think this is a technological leap forward, or maybe it could be. But there is a structural misalignment that's happening with how we're applying AI in moderation as we see it today, especially on YouTube's content. Because human context is everything. AI is great at identifying patterns of all kinds, but it is terrible when it comes to judgment. So here's what YouTube needs to do. If YouTube wants creators to be the backbone of this platform, which I think they do, they need to course correct immediately. AI should be able to flag, but only ban with human input. Unless it's really obvious. Maybe there is something built in here for the obvious, right? The inappropriate, the really TOS violating stuff that is just so obvious. That's obvious. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Second, they need a real human staffed appeal process, not just AI. So even when humans mess up, because we're human, we make mistakes, at least there is an appeal process also overseen by that secondary human. Third, it would be awesome to have some transparent sort of enforcement laid out for us as creators, right? Where's the data at? How is it being enforced? Can we just see it? Who's deciding this? Why are they deciding it in this way? And ultimately, who is being reprimanded for it? Just laid out in the data. I want to see it. And then finally, number 4 is to protect the legitimate creators to some capacity, especially when we're trying to have these spam crackdowns with the help of humans and AI. Sure, they can work together. There has to be some sort of legitimate protections put in place for creators during this push for spam detection. And I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I think the first step that I mentioned, which is when AI flags and humans then ban, I even think that would count as some level of creator protections that I think everybody can get on board with. And yeah, it might feel like this is very anti-AI of me, and it is. But it's also really pro-human accountability. We're building the damn AI, we need to oversee it. Using AI like this is in its infancy, so let's monitor it. Let's police it, guys. Because YouTube really wants us to believe that 12 million channels were terminated are all AI or spam or some sort of scam. They want us to think this is a sign of progress. And if that was actually true, it would be awesome. If it was all scams, if it was all AI, these are not real people being impacted. Oh, that'd be sick. That'd be great. That would be awesome. But from our view, right, creators, viewers, analysts, they are all saying the same thing. This is a crisis of confidence in a platform that is supposedly the legacy media of new media. I want to hear from you. Let's talk in the comments. Do you think AI moderation on YouTube is necessary at this scale? In the future, are we going to continue to see real creators get buried under these automated systems they can't appeal, like we already see on the TikTok side of things? A highly AI moderated system. Let's chat in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. And until next time, I'm V. I didn't say that at the beginning of the video like I usually do. It's my first video back in a while. And until next time, I'll see ya in the ether. Bye.